Good evening, I'm Debbie, and we're keeping it simple with Testa's Pantry. When the weather gets warm, we think of grilling. Well, at least I do. So tonight we're grilling some chicken breasts, and I have an old family secret recipe that I'm going to share with you. So I pounded the chicken breasts so that they're about between 1/4 and 1/2 of an inch thick. I got these thin sliced, so then I just pounded them out a little bit more. Anyways, we start with 1/4 cup of our Koroneiki. This is Testa's Pantry Koroneiki extra virgin olive oil. So we start with 1/4 cup of this. And I'm using one of the old school Corningware dishes. Now, if you have a marinating pan, you can use that. But I'm going to start with this because it's easier to show everything and it's easier to lay it all in one layer. If you're going to be marinating for more than a couple of hours, then you can put it in a sealable container and stack them and then just turn it periodically. But if you're just going to marinate quickly, then you want everything in one layer. We're also going to use 1/4 cup of dry white wine. So I'm using a Chardonnay. You can use a Pinot Grigio, or you can use homemade, whatever you have handy. So I'm putting in 1/4 cup of the wine. Then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of honey. The honey crystallizes really nicely. It actually makes the chicken nice and crispy when you're cooking on the grill. So we're going to use about 2 tablespoons of honey, and then I like the way that it gives it just a hint of sweetness to the chicken, because you have a lot of savory in the marinade, and this gives it just a little bit of sweetness. All right, now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Well, there was a good 1/2 tablespoon, and then we're going to do another 1/2. This is that same jar that I used last time, and I did buy more, but I would like to finish this up. So I'm going to finish that up. So there's our 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Now I'm going to use a 2 teaspoons of dried tarragon. If you're using fresh tarragon, then you can use a tablespoon, but if you're using dried, then you want to use 2 teaspoons. That's not the teaspoon. There we go. Okay, so 2 teaspoons of dried tarragon. Tarragon is a really great herb for chicken. It's a little bit savory, but it's got a touch of sweetness. I have to wipe my finger off, so I'm going to run it under water because that's making me crazy. All right, so 2 teaspoons of tarragon, and then a teaspoon of curry powder. Love curry powder. A teaspoon of curry powder. A teaspoon of garlic powder. Where's my garlic powder? It's here. So, I have it right in front of me. Teaspoon of garlic powder. There's that. And a teaspoon of salt. You might want to add 2 teaspoons. It's really depending upon your taste. I'm going with 1.5 teaspoons. And then I'm going to do some fresh ground black pepper. It's about 1/2 teaspoon. All right, and then I'm going to do a couple shakes of soy sauce. There, that's it. Now we'll mix it up. Now you can actually do this marinade overnight if you wish. You can put it in, like I said, a sealed container in the refrigerator and turn it periodically so that all the pieces get coated, because that's the beauty of it. You want all the pieces to be coated. So I'm going to lay the 4 pieces that I have. I bought about it was 1.33 pounds of chicken, and I ended up with 4 good-sized pieces. I'm going to lay the chicken in there, and this way it will be in a single layer. And this is going to marinate for about an hour, and so I can leave this at room temperature. And I'll make sure that it gets churned, and then we're going to put it on a hot grill. Now the grill should be heated really high. You want to brush the grates with a little bit of Koroneiki beforehand when it's hot, so that it creates a non-stick surface. And then after it's heated, then you lower it so that it maintains a heat of about 375. You're going to grill each one of these pieces for about 3 minutes aside. You want to wait until the edges start becoming opaque and the underside, or the grilled side is nice and golden brown. Then you flip it and continue cooking on the flip side. Depends on the thickness of your chicken, how long you cook it for. You have to watch that. So 3 to 4 minutes on either side will do these just fine. All right, enjoy grilling, and I'll talk to you next time.